Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge Podcast. My name's Josh. Thanks for joining me. Today we're talking about This Is How We Bingham, a channel I've covered once or twice in the past. They're kind of yucky and gross, but their edits are like, hi there, hi, how are you today? We're broke, ha 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 ha. They do so many cuts, it's actually crazy. But they've been living a lie a little bit. Looks like they're broke. Well, we'll find out. Let's take a look. So I've been covering This Is How We Bingham for a couple years. I mean, I think I've done maybe one or two videos on them, but this is the type of channel that got really big really early on when YouTube was huge. They've got 719 million views. Now, I'm a channel with about 120 million views, and so they've got 7 times the amount of views, roughly 7 times the amount of views. And I know how much money I've made. So theirs is basically long views, and they have made bank. And their house is proof of that. Here's some stats: 1.32 million subscribers, 719 million views. This past month, I mean, they're still making 2.3 million views a month. That's a lot of money to a lot of people. Okay, 2.3 million, that's roughly $30,000 a month, I think, if you got a good CTA, or whatever you call it, the DCM. I don't know what it's called. Like, you have a good retention. I don't know if they do or not, but they're pulling in still more money than most people make in a year. Like, absolutely. Like, if you can't live in the way they're living at $20,000 to $30,000 a month, you're living so far beyond your means, it's actually crazy. Imagine making $20,000 to $30,000 a month, and that's just kind of recently. They used to make way more than that, and you can't live on that. That's bananas. So they're still making decent cash. At the height of their channel, they were probably making way more than that. Over the past 7 days, they got about 675,000 views. Their subscribers, for all intents and purposes, I think might have plateaued. Yeah. They haven't gained a subscriber in close to November, December, January, February, March, April, May. 7 months. They haven't gained a subscriber in over 7 months. They're losing. It's a dying channel, of course, and they see that. But still, for the past 28 days, 2.3 million long views is still, again, good money. They're probably on TikTok. They probably get ad read. So they still make a lot of money. We're talking hundreds of thousands a year, okay? More than doctors make. For sure. Okay, that is kind of like a snapshot of their channel. And at the height of their channel, their most popular video is faking sick to skip school. It's their kid in with their shirt off, of course, in the thumbnail. And this was done 2018. And I've talked at length about doing thumbnails that are inappropriate with children in them. The family is so disgusting when it comes to this. And when their kids get hurt. Like with their kid, anytime their kid gets hurt, and their kids get hurt a lot, they do like 10-part series on them because they get a lot of views. Second video is Hawaii, the movie, first family vacation Hawaii, 10 million views. Toddler breaks arm in 2 places at Legoland. So if you were to sum up This Is How We Bingham in a sentence, it would be: our children get hurt, we exploit the shit out of it. Right? This time it's faking sick to skip school, another 6.9 million, because that's the first one they did. Again, shirtless kid in the thumbnail. What do you think? Nearly dead kitten found frozen in the snow, 6.3 million. Dad breaks his leg in 2 places at skate park. Terrifying night caught on camera. Kid starts screaming. Kid breaks collarbone. What gear did you get started? Motocross. First family cruise vacation. So it's like vacations and then kids getting sent home, and then injuries. CPS should have been involved a long time ago, because there's just I have had 4 kids living in my house at one point for a long period of time. Okay. And there's been, like, I can count on one hand how many times we had to go to the hospital. And I'm not saying that's just because, maybe my kids are lucky. It's just because this family has been to the hospital like 150 times. And it's lucrative for them, for their children to get hurt, if you know what I'm saying. These people are disgusting. And so the reason I want to show you how disgusting they are is because in the Reddit thread on This Is How We Bingham Snark, they're like, I'm so happy about their honesty in this video. F*** off. Okay? No. That's not going to fly in this channel. These people, for all intents and purposes, exploited their children to, like, almost every single day of their life with their mouth like this open wide at the dentist's office. Their kids getting hurt. Again, if I were to count how many videos of these kids getting hurt, there's probably like half of the videos that they put out are their kids getting hurt. At the peak of their channel, like if we go back, I don't know, let's go back a couple of years where the peak, where before, like it really started becoming shitty to be a family vlogger, right? So I'm going back, 2023, 2 years ago, 100,000 views, 157,000 views, 144,000 views, and they're posting like every other day, getting 150,000, 180,000 50,000, like they're in the hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views on their channels, right? And then if you go to their most recent, you're talking 4,000. This one's got 141,000 because they're finally talking about moving, and as soon as they posted their house for sale in Zillow, it came up on the Snark thread. Everybody's known they sold their house for months, and they just kept it from people because they wanted to launch it to make money off the video, right? So if you just go into the regular stuff like summer sickness, 74,000, 46,000, the only views that they're getting on their channels when the kids continue to get hurt or they're sick. That's it. So it's not like they're not making as much money, but it sounds like, yeah, they aren't making as much money. At one point, they were probably pulling in triple the views per month what they're doing now, which is amazing, amazing money. And it's still amazing money what they're making, guys. Don't feel sorry for them. They're not broke. Okay, but what happened was they moved into this giant home that was worth like $5 million and put so many renovations. They have, this is how we Bingham, the letters of their channel, on the bottom of their pool. They built this beautiful pickleball court. I'm jealous. Okay, they spent so much money, and likely those kids will have nothing to show for it. Nothing, because no laws were in place when these people started vlogging. There are laws now in Utah, if that's where they were, I'm not sure. And yeah, they're Mormon, obviously. But now they have to put 15% away for their kids, and now they have to move out, because if they have to do it and follow the law, they're going to have to pay their children, right? And so that's going to take, and how many kids they have? 5? Each of those kids are going to get 15% of that money. So 15% of 5 children, that's going to be the majority of the money from that film, that video that they're in, right? I'm sure they're going to find loopholes and stuff, but that means that over half of the money has to go to these children. Am I right on that math? 30, 45, like 80%, 90%. That's crazy. So I guess we're going to have to figure out some loopholes. So the fact that they have to now pay their children speaks volumes that they have to sell their house. And it sold for a lot of money. Some people are suggesting it was like over $4.5 million for this house. So they've been living above their means forever. If you look at the Reddit thread, I don't know a lot about this family, but apparently this one kid has a shoe collection worth in the tens of thousands of dollars. These kids have been spoiled rotten. And I'm not saying don't spoil your kids, because these kids deserve it, because they are literally the reason the family makes money, right? The mom and dad are just a bunch of shits. They're like, and this guy has a really checkered past as well. And so all this stuff has come up over the time. And so that's, again, I'm saying all this because there is no reason to feel sorry for these people. They literally have made millions and millions, and I'm talking probably tens of millions of dollars, and have nothing to show for it at the end. They just spent and spent and spent like this was going to last forever, right? And then they, like any channel on YouTube, it has a lifespan. Mine will have a lifespan. Everybody's has a lifespan. Okay, unless you're top of the top of the top, then you can probably live off it for the rest of your life. But that's just the way YouTube goes. And these people who put all their eggs in one basket are effed now. So this is how we Bingham kind of in a nutshell. Again, I don't know tons about them. See, a lot of people are like, hats off to them. I'm proud of them. No, why are we proud of these people? These people literally built their entire wealth off the exploitation of children in so many disgusting ways. And it wasn't innocent. None of it is innocent. If it were maybe, hey, my kid plays basketball or piano or whatever, okay, whatever, that's innocent. But not when you put your child's mouth on the camera, when every broken bone is monetized to the tune of 10s, 12, dozens of videos. They are not good people. There's nothing to be proud of them. This is karma for This Is How We Bingham, just so you guys are aware. But this thread I was looking at when I was on the toilet. I just pulled a Bonnie Holine moment there. I started not liking the Binghams because their 2 younger kids are starting to misbehave and we're starting to act like brats. Like, I mean, that's just spoiled rotten kids. But anyway, when the jumpy editing started, someone says, I liked watching their house building videos. I stopped liking them when they put the boys on thumbnails shirtless. That was a long time ago. It was more like not liking the content anymore. For me, it was when they started building the McMansion and buying Crew way too many pairs of expensive shoes. His name is Crew, with a K. When Mindy complained about wanting those damn shoes and Brandon booked an entire international vacation for them so she could go buy shoes. I didn't even know that. I was done. Stopped watching for a long time. Only watch now occasionally when the title actually has some interesting stuff, which isn't much these days. That is crazy. All for a pair of shoes. When you claim you're so relatable and humble and down to earth and book a weekend trip for a pair of shoes, thousands of dollars, hundreds wasted on non-refundable, something or other too, I believe as well. We paid our electric and mortgage the same paycheck this week. That's a major win for us right now. That's what someone's saying. These people were they just got way too big for their britches, and people stopped watching them because they're not interesting. They're not funny. They tried to make it big, and they did for a little while, and now it's gone. And so and apparently in this video, they get super honest. So on one hand, okay, you can be proud of them for being honest. Okay, give them credit where credit's due, because you know I do that, right? On the other hand, good. Because a lot of people are like, well, you're being mean to them. I don't give a shit. Also, they probably banked millions of dollars off the sale of their home, which they're probably going to have to live off for a very large period of time until they can kind of even out how they're going to live. I'm the same. A lot of my money comes from YouTube, but I have irons in the fire everywhere because I know that this could be gone tomorrow. Okay, I know it could be gone and I have contingency in place. If my channel goes tomorrow, I'll be upset, yes, but I'm not going to be broken. I will not lose everything that I've built. Okay, I'm not stupid like these morons. But they also want you to think that they're poor, and they're not. They're still pulling in $20,000 to $30,000 a month minimum. Okay? But they do have to pay their kids finally, and thank God. So let's take a look.
The reality is right now we don't own this home. It has been bought, it has been paid for, it is no longer ours. We are sitting in someone else's home right now.
Shut up. I hate this guy. Shut the
Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome back.
Guys, it feels like we were just sitting here, same shot, same angle. I remember just like being amazed by the kitchen in the background, and we were talking all about our epic dream home reveal.
Hey, Bingham family, welcome to your new home.
They're all crying about their new home.
So we just really did that. Didn't it feel like we...
Oh, and they sold millions of dollars worth of merch too. Don't forget about that. They sold literally tons and tons of merch.
Well, we kind of did.
That's because we just did that.
It's been a dream living here. We absolutely love it.
The dream, as we are learning in life, will change from time to time. If you didn't catch the...
It is a beautiful house, though.
Absolute last sentence of yesterday's video. I guess, I don't know, there's another random explaining to do. Mom's back.
I'm here.
Crew's back. They had a great time. Kind of intentionally, just for fun, put that out there to give us a minute to sit down and record this when Mom got back. If you don't know what the heck is going on, the very last sentence of the last video we shot, we shouted a surprise to all of you, announcing to the world that our summer was going to have something in it that was maybe not expected.
Okay, bro, everybody knew. Is it really surprised when the entire internet, including all of your fans, knew? Surprise! That's like Kira in the next coming weeks telling us she's pregnant. We know already, Kira, and we know it's a girl. If everybody knows, it's no longer a surprise, which means that you know that they were super duper uber pissed when the Reddit dropped their house for sale. Like, you don't get any privacy. I've talked about this at length, and your kids don't get privacy too for the rest of their lives because of what you've done. When you list your home or you want privacy for whatever reason because you're an influencer, too bad. Chad, too bad. You don't get it anymore. You lose that. And they all knew months before this video. So like, surprise. I'm like, okay, we already knew, bro. I don't even follow you and I know.
Not on everyone's radar. Certainly wasn't our...
I could go a man on the street right now, anywhere in the US and be like, hey, did you know the Bingham sold their house? And they're like, yeah, I totally knew. And everybody would know.
Plan originally
no.
to do this in summer 2025, but
we're moving.
Poor kids.
We are moving.
Yes.
We are moving out of our dream home.
Yes, we are. And I think that one thing that keeps coming to my mind as I'm just sitting here, knowing that we're going to be talking about the dream home, sometimes a dream isn't necessarily tied to like a thing. It's
They're gonna justify being like, look, sometimes the dream is just, not the best home you've ever lived in. Sometimes the dream is a smaller, less home thing.
Like being together. So, dream home, this is a dream home. It is everything you could want and more.
Oh, beyond, yeah.
Yeah, like more plus 57 other things that you totally don't need.
Her mortgage is $20,000 a month. That pool they put in was probably $150,000. Okay, the pickleball court alone was probably $60,000. Or more. I don't think they went so above and beyond for everything. It was insane. They're trying to live like professional basketball players, and they are freaking child exploiters.
Awesome. We absolutely love living here, but what we love...
Imagine the property taxes on that shit.
More is being together as family.
We do.
Oh, do you like being together? Shut up.
You phrase it that way because I'm sure there's some thoughts out there at home like, well, can't you do both? Can't you have the dream home and be together?
Well, yeah. This is them trying to like mitigate it, like, well, it's because we're together. Home is where togetherness is and where we can exploit our kids on thumbnails. Home is in another state where we don't have to pay our kids. That's what's gonna happen.
It was only tied to the house, actually.
Yeah, we leave here, the dream is over. The dream is done. Reality of it is, and I guess we'll just cut right into it because I'm sure there's a lot of questions around it. And we have just always been very open and transparent with the way that we share things, and maybe sometimes too much so, maybe.
You weren't open and transparent about this because everybody knew you were moving like 5 months before you told everybody.
Sometimes we're a little bit overly transparent, but we just, I don't think we're ever really like are ashamed or afraid to just talk openly with you guys about how life is going and the ups and downs. And you guys know it's been a pretty wild roller coaster, specifically over the last 3 years inside of the Bingham family, with a lot of just very wild, unexpected, crazy things that have happened to the family, and we try and just
like what?
share very openly how life's journey is going. And so for the
You don't have to cut out every single pause of your breath, right? You don't have to do that. That's a lot of work. You don't have to, and it's ridiculous that you do it. You've got to stop editing like this.
past like almost year and a half, I would say, YouTube has been on a different track than it was that got us into the dream home. YouTube is no longer the long form content like we shoot, full length 15-minute video style of content sharing. It's mostly just the little shorts that everybody likes to watch, the TikToks, the 60 seconds or less. So you just kind of
she's laughing, but she's crying inside. Yeah, it's true. That Shorts is dominating, and Shorts pays you almost nothing. I've got Shorts in the millions of views that get me $40. And again, I understand where it's going, but YouTube still dominates the entire culture as far as paying its creators, like dominates. I know that TikTok does pay a lot if you get it, but they have a lot of stipulations. You can lose your monetization super easily on TikTok. They don't protect creators like me who call out other creators. They don't. I left a clown emoji and got banned, so TikTok is like, again, it's very, very, very volatile. YouTube, I've been doing this, for 4 years now, a little over 4 years, and I'm pretty good, right? YouTube pays me quite handsomely, and I get to do this, and they protect me, for fair use and everything else, all the copyright strikes. I don't even think I see them anymore when people try to do them, because YouTube's like, look, you're not going to be able to strike this guy. Like, because YouTube is just it's just the mitigator, right? They're like, look, they want to strike you. You can either fight back or you can take the strike, and every time I fight back, and like, again, I don't know if they try it anymore. I don't know. But YouTube protects its creators really, really well. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, YouTube is still the #1 paying content platform that exists. And they pay their creators very well.
keep moving, and watch a little bit here and there. The result of that, as far as what we do as a business and as a way to earn a living, is that those earnings have been on a steady decline for probably, I would say, like a year and a half. Would you say about that long? Because it was about 8 months ago that we...
What happened a year and a half ago? Ruby Frankie. I think that family vlogging has been on a very, very, very steep decline, whatever you call it, incline, since Micah Stauffer. That was the big kickoff, and then it kind of started steamrolling when other family vloggers started shit in the bed. And then I think now family vlogging, there are still people attempting it, there's still people making money at it, don't get me wrong, but it will never be in its heyday like it was. And until that kind of dissipates, YouTube won't take a stance morally on it until they really don't, it doesn't matter to them anymore. Then the one day they'll be like, yeah, we're gonna take that stance, because it won't affect them monetarily.
Decided, like, hey, we need to safety net ourselves for the future.
We could feel the change coming, and the topic came up more and more each passing month.
We could feel how broke we were getting. I couldn't fly to Japan for shoes anymore.
And it became stressful in the sense that we didn't know if it was something we were going to have to do or something that we needed to be, like, smart and get ahead of and do. You guys know, no secret, we are religious people, and so we made it a matter of prayer, fasting, temple attendance, all those different things to try and figure out what it is that we needed to do as a family. Again, we're just going to openly share the whole process with you guys. We recognize that we probably financially needed to move. We needed to make a change and needed to downsize our life, but we couldn't let go of this specific neighborhood. The house is great. It's unbeatable.
So they just moved down the street to a $3 million house is probably what it sounds like. So again, don't feel sorry for these people and don't celebrate them. Be like, I love the honesty. Shut up. They don't deserve it, man. They don't deserve it.
But a house can be replaced. There's obviously a lot of things here that we don't need. In fact, in our dream home reveal walkthrough, we paused just over here by the wall and talked about how we don't need this. It's nice to have fun. We don't need all of these.
It's nice to have trillions of things.
We don't need a theater and a pool and all those other awesome things. They are incredible. They're amazing. We love them. What we need is each other. And we need to just focus on the things that actually matter in life. So to us,
again, they're pivoting here and they're trying to be like, they're trying to save face. That's all this is going. If you really are proud of them, then they should have been humble at the beginning. Look, guys, we lived above our means. We did want all these things. We did achieve all these things. We got it. But they're like, you know what? But family matters. You had your family and everything else. So I don't want to hear this, guys. I don't want to hear like they're so humble. Shut up. Come on, man.
The friendships we made here, the relationships, those were the hardest thing to finally make the decision to leave, because we have loved this area, we love the people around us, we love the friendships that we've made. It's unlike any place we've ever been.
We live in the best neighborhood and we have the best friends here.
That was what really held us up in making the decision that we knew eventually we were going to have to make. And so I don't know if Mindy planned on going this deep into it, but to me, it's kind of sometimes therapeutic to talk to the camera, share the process as it happened. So I'm going to get fairly detailed here. At Maddie's wedding, we actually had talked about and discussed that when we came back in January, we would probably need to put the home up for sale. It just felt like it was the thing to do, and we just knew that early January, let's come back, meet with a realtor, and test the market.
Came home from the wedding, make things a matter of prayer and fasting, and we did all the proper steps, and we were getting like it's not time yet. The logical.
Also, likely, if you don't know this, a lot of creators don't understand how to take in the money, because the government takes a huge wet bite out of your ass, especially here in Canada, right? And so if you're bringing in $30,000-$40,000 a month, you're not actually paying yourself that. Your business is paying you. You probably cap yourself at the most you want to pay yourself, so you pay the least amount of tax. There's not loopholes, but it's just how it works, right? You create, this is how we Bingham LLC. The money comes in, this is how we Bingham, and then this is how we Bingham pays the kids or the parents, whatever that does on these checks. They use that money to live, and then they use I don't know what they're called, stipends, or they use huge chunks of money that they can tax less on for paying for homes and things like that. Now, could you write off your entire home for your channel? I'm sure they tried. And I'm sure if they got audited by the IRS, it probably would hurt them a lot. Plus, they also owe a lot of money. I guarantee you they owe tons and tons and tons of money to the IRS. That, like hundreds of thousands of dollars probably. So that's a big deal. I bet you it is.
Part of us is like, but things are not adding up. Things are not working.
We're watching the account shrink and the bills grow. So this doesn't really make a lot of logical sense to us, but we'll hang in there and just see.
It's hard to work with logic and
Also, can we be real in this moment? That's the good pause screen. But can we be honest here for a second? Can you shut up? We saw our bills growing and our income shrinking. Their monthly bills are probably $10,000, $15,000, $16,000, maybe more, maybe $25,000, including their mortgage. Spare me. Okay, spare me. Now they have to live off $20,000 a month instead of $60,000 a month. There are people who cannot afford groceries. Okay, gas to put in their car to get to work, or hydro. Electricity, what you want to call it. There are people out there struggling so hard now, and people who do videos like this can off. Okay, right into the sun. Get wrecked.
At the same time, every single month that would come up, we would reevaluate. We would make it again a matter of fasting and prayer. Our kids have been involved from the very beginning. They know all of our finances, they know all of the struggles, they know all of the positives too. So we've always included our kids as well. So we've included them in this huge decision.
Well, and I've always wondered.
Okay.
If that was
why wouldn't you?
Good or bad? Because sometimes that can be heavy responsibility or something to carry with you as a kid. But for me, some of the greatest feedback I've gotten, some of the things that I've listened to the closest, have been the drives with crew to drop them off at a friend's house, and I'm running through some thoughts with him and he gives me some feedback, and that stuff has stuck with me. Or Ryler's just been incredibly insightful into the whole process. Them expressing what is the most important to them, because as we talked to them about it,
kids aren't going to be like, the most fun thing to me is family, especially teenagers, okay? Because no. I'm sorry, you're lying if you say that. You're just lying. These kids are living in the lap of luxury with a pickleball court, basketball courts, pools, and water slides, and having all the friends over and playing the high level, most elite level sports with new basketball shoes every 2 days, and probably have electric bikes and go-karts, and they probably have everything. The friends all come over to this house. This is the party place. This is where all the sports parties and the end of school year parties happen. This is where it is. And you're going to tell me your kids are like, you know what, we'd like to live somewhere smaller, but with the family together, tighter. F off. Come on. Come on. You think any of us are going to believe that? Get wrecked.
Just a little concerned that it would feel like a big L, like it was a failure, like they'd be going backwards in life.
It's kind of an L.
I mean, yeah.
It is kind of an L.
Tell what it is. It's definitely an L. But is it like a self-esteem damaging L? Is it something that's going to affect their personality, who they are? But through talking with them, it was just such a wonderful relief to us as parents to recognize that their value and their worth is not tied to our things, our home, where they live.
No, but their value and their worth is tied to the content that you created out of them. They have been the backbone of your channel, and they have shouldered the responsibility, the monetary responsibility of your family without even knowing it. Or they do know it inadvertently, because you've probably pressured them over the years to make content, to be in hospital when they're hurt, and they probably told you multiple times, don't record this, and you still probably did. Okay? No. Those kids have made you wealthy, and now you're taking it away from them. You spent it all. You literally lived you lived well above your means, and now the nest egg that you had is shrunk down to the point where you're like, okay, we gotta effing move out of here. And I don't think they'll ever be broke. Don't get me wrong, because they're still making huge amounts of money on the internet comparatively to what everybody else makes in the rest of the world for working 2 hours a day, right? They probably have editors and everything else doing this for them, right? So I don't want to hear it, man. Like, your kids have been the reason you are here, and then you're like, they're cool with it. I don't think so.
How awesome their backyard is, that they can have friends come over and flex out on people. They just really value time.
And you see how he says that, and how they can flex out on people? That's what matters to them. These Christian, we're religious, we're Mormons. They do. They think it's really important that their kids can flex their wealth on people. He said that in passing, like it's not a big deal, but that's actually quite a big deal. So we have a house that we can flex on people. That's what he just said. And you guys are all like, thanks for the honesty. He just told you that these people are just disgusting. They're like, we love to flex on people. Like, off, man. Like, read the room.
Together as a family, but also just a lower level of stress, not being so worried every month if we're going to be able to make it, if we're going to be able to cut it, if we can book some more travel, things like that, they certainly miss. So as things got tighter, they're like, look, we don't care about the house.
We can't fly to Europe for shoes anymore. Like, we got to figure this shit out.
Want everyone to be together and happy.
I want to see that video. Sitting here talking about, like, look how honest we are. We did it again, buying new Nike shoes for our kids' school volleyball team. Full sneaker collection tour, including ultra rare 1-of-1 Nike Air Jordan rarest shoe, Cruise Kicks. Buying his first pair of Travis Scott Jordans, $178,000. They bought a lot of shoes on this channel. Damn. We bought Nike LeBron basketball shoes for everyone in the school basketball. This is like multiple times I've done it. Entire news basketball, like multiple times. What the hell is this? Oh my God. We're broke, they say, and then they make this video. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. So let me get this straight. They're sitting here like, you guys are feeling sorry for them. We're broke. Look what they did. They hired a crane that was probably $500 an hour or more to crane their super heavy new freaking Cybertruck over their pool to make a YouTube short out of it. The amount of money they paid for this stunt, 33 million views, yeah, maybe made a couple $1,000 on this video, is not coming anywhere near what it cost to make this video. And this is the flex. This is what they were doing. Oh my gosh. And you want people to feel sorry for you? Get out of here. Get out of here. Oh well.
Like it always has been. And I just feel like this is like a big family gathering, and we're all just kind of discussing our feelings because
Tammy, what do you think?
For us, there was
Shut up.
well, why the heck did we feel so great about moving here in the first place? Those of you who maybe are watching and can recall us talking about standing on the sidewalk and just feeling this overwhelming feeling of peace and comfort that this is where we need to build, this is where we need to grow our family, this is going to be our dream forever. All those feelings, why did that feel so right when now it's no longer possible? And we do feel really good and right about these next steps, and we'll get a little bit more into that in a second. But why sometimes in life do we have those moments that happen? Sometimes you don't find out till much later. Sometimes you don't really recognize the reason why until you've gone past it.
But the question of life right now is
in
why?
this particular scenario,
This guy doesn't let her talk ever either. It's really annoying.
is all that we've lived here. There was like a year and a half to 2 years of
Holy shit. Holy shit. They built like a, not just a house, compound. Just this drawing cost thousands of dollars.
of building it. So it's been a good chunk of our time here on YouTube has been around this home.
Man.
So we don't.
Whoever buys that pool has to come up with a new thing for those letters. This is how we Bingham.
Know the answer as to why it was so short-lived. But we do feel really good about the decision that it was time to put the home up.
You don't feel good about the decision. You would never have had to if you just didn't future-proof yourself. You get into investments, and these people made I'm telling you guys, tens of millions of dollars and have nothing to show for it. If you're gonna live in this lap of luxury and you make tens of millions, what you have to do is get your money to make it so that it pays for your lifestyle. So anything above that is gravy, right? So if you're doing short-term investments or long-term investments, you can pay somebody to help you figure it out if you have that much money. I promise you. Okay? If you do investments, you say, look, this is our monthly cost. How much investment do we need to get to that so that it pays our monthly costs? And then everything you make over top of that is all just freaking flowing in, right? But no, they just spend it all on literally what seems like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of shoes, flying a Cybertruck over your pool. I don't even know what else they've done. I'm sure there's many more things. Come on, man.
For sale, and we'll tell you guys a little bit more about that because that was pretty interesting too. It just felt like it was right then, just like it felt right when we moved in, and so sometimes you can't explain why or the reasoning or the timing of it all. But we do feel really good about this next move.
Which is interesting because
That's convenient that you feel good about this next move.
We would have been having this conversation maybe like a month or two ago. You guys, this has been probably one of the most difficult decisions. I personally struggled a ton, and it's been really challenging because we did feel like this is where we're supposed to be. But maybe this isn't exactly the destination. This might just be one of the stepping stones.
Why do people say shit like this? This is where we're supposed to be. Don't just stop saying dumb shit. It's supposed to be according to who? According to Joseph Smith? Like, clearly then you're wrong. Just means that it's bullshit when you say stupid stuff. Like, just get someplace where you're comfortable. Buy a home outright. These people could have, like Doherty Dozen, could have bought a home outright, cash, and owned that shit. But instead decided to live like they, I don't know. Man, I would love to see their expenditure book. I would love to take a look at that shit. You guys would be flabbergasted at the amount of money that these people have spent over the years. You would be flabbergasted, okay? And I don't even watch their content. It will blow you away. This guy's sweater right now, it looks like it's a $175 sweater. Okay, his merch alone, these hats with this little rubber thing on it, with this Howie Bingham, this hat alone, just to make it, probably costs $35. He sells it for like $75 probably. I don't know, right? These people drive Cybertrucks and SUVs, and their kids have dirt bikes and hoverboards and electric scooters and like literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pairs of $1,000 sneakers. Like you can't make it up, folks. Holy shit.
To something greater.
Ooh, okay.
And so it's been really challenging.
Not a greater house. There's no greater house. But there's something else greater that's not a...
Dude, can she speak for 2 seconds?
I never, ever, ever thought I would say. I thought I would leave this house kicking and screaming and just really mad.
You are.
And I think I went through the mad phase.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Get back up. And that's what we're doing right now. So we are getting all of our energy to get back up.
So what are you mad about? Like, they're not going to get into the granular detail about why they're mad. Right? Are you mad that people just don't want to watch your shit anymore because you're completely unrelatable? Is that what it is? You're mad at your fans for not watching your videos anymore? Because that's, who else can you be mad at? I mean, you got to be mad at yourself for making really bad financial decisions. But who are you mad at? Are you mad that people have grown out of your content because it's the same bullshit year after year after year after year? Like, and then you have to do incredible stunts with cranes and SUVs because you think that's going to be the next thing? Like, what do you should be like, you're mad at people for not watching your bullshit anymore? You became unrelatable, everybody. Stop. These people, these family vloggers out here, it just blows my mind how they think that they need to live in the, and some of them do. Some of them are like, we have to live in the lap of luxury, and they want, some people watch that for like this, like the royalty family or whatever, right? They watch them because they are millionaires. Ace family was big because they were millionaires. They had supercars and lived in massive mansions. People who start at one place where they're just a normal family, and then they feel like they have to be like, let's flex on everybody, like he just said, right? When you switch from being a normal person to be like, now we're like rich and let's flex, people hate you because they grew up with you, they grew up watching you, and then you changed. That's what they hate, and they don't want to watch you anymore. You were unwatchable because you were no longer relatable. You started at something that was relatable, and then you no longer were relatable. Okay? So if I was going to give anybody any advice who's starting on YouTube, it doesn't matter how much money you make. If you started as a person one way, just continue being that person because that's who they started liking. That's what they came for, right? You don't need to be spending, you don't need to be getting fake tits and asses and faces and lips and spending millions of dollars on bullshit trips all over the world. You don't need to do it because people will stop watching it. Who you were is who they liked. And these people all changed themselves. All of them. I'd like to think that I have not changed over the past 4.5 years. Maybe a little bit. But like, I'd like to feel like I started out being a snarky asshole and I continue to stay being a snarky asshole. It's kind of a nice default position to be in. But like, I don't even out in public, I don't want to be recognized. I don't want fame. I don't want any of that bullshit, right? And I want to like, if I ever, and I want to still be the same nice guy I am day to day, not to child exploiters. I will not be nice to them. But like, I feel like none of these people grasp onto that, and they all just, except, which is weird, Doherty Dozen is an example that she's stayed trashy. Do you know what I mean? Like, she could have elevated herself in a position buying houses with cash, living on farms for horses, and living like, living in the lap of luxury, but just painted her kitchen yellow instead and just doesn't. It's weird, but that's the only one who hasn't done it, right? So these people cannot grasp it, and they're mad about it. Why don't you guys watch us spend millions of dollars that you could never have this life with?
Moving forward, and we're actually really excited about what's to come.
Like Mindy said.
No, you're not.
I don't think saying we're excited to move out of this home was a phrase we ever thought we would say aloud. And truthfully, if you would
You're not.
have asked us that a month ago, I would have been lying or forcing positivity in the situation if I said that. But
That's exactly what you're doing right now. You're forcing positivity, and no one's believing it. Well, some people are believing
I
it.
actually genuinely feel that way about this move. I think that the kids are genuinely excited about the next step
think they are.
and life de-stress.
Yeah, they're genuinely excited to leave the best house they've ever lived in, the flex, or so you say, to them, and now they can't have parties, and they're genuinely excited to not have this anymore. They're definitely excited about it.
A little bit. Something else that I think was pivotal in all of this, a little bit on the heavier side. You guys know my brother passed away tragically, unexpectedly.
Yeah, and you know how we know that? It's because you filmed it, and you filmed the funeral. We know that because you used it for content.
In October. Through that process and sitting down with his family and kind of going through some of the things that they went through, they had some financial meetings, things to understand what their future looked like. I think it was very eye-opening to us and to me in particular how unprepared we were for those next steps, the unexpected, step down the line stuff.
And that should blow your mind, everybody, because they've made more money than most people will ever make in their entire lives in a few short 5 years, 6 years. More money than most people will ever begin to see, and they've spent it all. His brother dies, and he's like, "Whoa, shit! We have nothing to fall back on. Nothing." That's crazy, guys. Think about this for a second. Okay, the things I've done on this channel. The first thing I did when I started making money on this channel was put my wife through nursing school. The second thing I'm going to do with the money, the second thing we do was bought our home, and now we're renovating it to make it worth more than we bought it for, right? We're investing in our home to make it worth a lot of money, right? And then the third thing I'm going to do is put my wife through nurse practitioners, her master's degree, because my wife could be a nurse practitioner, and if all else fails, if YouTube collapses, okay, if I break every bone in my body and I can't move, and I can't work and provide for my family, my wife could provide for our entire family based on that job alone. Right? I would never want my wife to have to do that, right? I would never want it, but she's capable of doing it, and she's educated and smart to do it. So that's investments into our future. We have investments otherwise at the bank and things like that. But I've never in my life ever had money. Never. I grew up very, very poor. You know my story. My wife grew up very, not poor, but she grew up in a middle-class family, not having a lot of money. We're both normal for our entire lives. Like as a pastor, at one point I was making $35,000 a year. My wife both had to work full time for most of our marriage to make ends meet, and we were happy. We were not sad. We didn't feel like we were missing out. We still got to do a vacation once every couple of years if we were lucky. Living paycheck to paycheck like everybody else does, but we were happy, and we are happy. And now that I'm actually making money, I think the mindset at the beginning was like I just spent. Because I'm like, we had it. And now the mindset after a few years is like, okay, I need to make sure my kids are taken care of for the rest of their lives. Okay, I need to make sure that their education is paid for. That, like, they don't have to spend one penny going into debt to go to school for anything, right? But they're also going to work as soon as they're able to. They're also going to understand the value of a dollar. These people in these channels, they don't teach their kids shit. And they just think they're going to live in like this and they're famous and all that. And the kids think that that's how they have to go. That's not true. It's so sad to watch these people do this to their kids. Not only do they exploit their kids for the wealth that they have now, but they spent it all and left nothing for their kids.
So I guess if there's anything even remotely decent to come out of that whole situation is that it was very eye-opening that we needed to take care of some of those things. And we felt like that was just another push in that direction to sell this home. Thankfully, we were able to, because of the market, because of the beautiful home, because of the incredible attention to detail that our builder did, we were able to put it up.
Holy cuts, man!
Walk away with a good amount of money to kind of reset, restart, and reevaluate how we want to manage the future as far as our monthly finances, but then also like a better rainy day funds, I guess you could say. Because moving into here was incredible. It was the dream. It was all that we had put everything to.
How many times are you gonna say that? We got it. It's a dream. We got it.
All of our financial efforts were towards making this happen, and there wasn't much thought given to beyond that. So then when
there wasn't much thought beyond spending $4 million on a house.
YouTube took that downturn that it did, and then it continued to go down further and further, and we just thought, well, I don't really know how much further it can go. Let's not get ourselves in a situation where we're being forced to leave. Let's make sure we set ourselves up so that we are being proactive. Really, a lot of it came from those meetings, like I said, that we had in the wake of Justin's passing, and so that was something also that I think, obviously...
Wow, buddy, keep talking, man! Holy shit!
This at home, that was one of those moments, too, where you recognize the things that really matter. You know, the things that actually have value in this life, the things that you can and can't...
Family.
take with you. And we certainly know that, talk about it, think about it, try to operate that way every day. But that was one of those like right in your face screaming things. None of this stuff.
I could not sit and have a conversation with this dude ever in a million years. You know that he has his buddy of dads that hang out with the kids at sports teams, and all he talks about is his channel and himself and everything else. And this is what we do, and this is what I spend, this is what I make. You know, this guy tries to flex on everybody. This guy's whole life has been flexing on people because of the channel, because I don't know, his upbringing's probably not that good, I don't know, but you know that every dad in this guy's neighborhood and in his life and all the kids, they hate this effing guy. I promise you, they hate him because he has everything, but he built none of it. Okay, he just hired people to do it. I have been up on this floor of my house pulling up tile with a Hilti hammer drill for 4 straight days. I lifted over 3.5 tons of tile into that dump trailer by myself. I'm doing that because not only do I like working hard and I feel like it's very, very rewarding, but I like to learn now when I'm not going to do the entire hardwood all by myself. I'm going to do the tile cutting with a layer. I'm going to help him do that. I want to learn. I want to do it. I feel way better about myself when not only that, I save $5,000-$10,000 doing things yourself and learning. This guy's just like, I'm just going to write a check to the guy who's going to put in a pool slide. Like, sorry, you're not a real dad.
All that's important is getting to have that time together, make memories together, do things together. It don't really matter at the end of the day how amazing or incredible the house was. And so that helped.
It does matter. And you've said multiple times it matters because the flex matters to you. It matters your status. It really does to these people. And he said it. He has literally said it with his words.
Us to kind of separate, disconnect a little bit from.
She's like, why am I even here? I don't even go here.
The home, recognize, hey, I think we're going to be happier and better off somewhere else. And I think that combined with a series of additional events as we continue to have it on our mind and to think about it really ultimately helped us to feel comfortable with something that I don't think we ever felt like we'd be able to be comfortable with.
Kind of was
wow. All that could is, I don't even know what he said. My brain shut off.
Series of events. I guess it was kind of like one big thing that led to like another big thing. I was having a conversation with someone recently about just your husband's job. Hey, how's it going? How's his job? And she's like, yeah, he's a realtor, it's going great. It's crazy because houses right now, they're like going up for sale and like selling immediately. And I was like, ding dong. It went off in my brain like,
well, you have to understand.
Oh my God, let her finish the sentence, dude.
Like the context of
let her finish.
I think we had just like had a Sunday where we fasted. If you're not familiar with fasting, I think
oh my God, shut up.
It's fairly well known, but like you just don't eat and you pray and try and just like center yourself and be open to any kind of answers or inspiration. And so sometimes you're like,
you don't have to fast to get answers.
Acutely aware or sensitive to things that maybe seem like nothings, but then having that come up on the heels of asking questions felt like a big deal, followed by...
It did. It felt like a big deal. That was a Saturday. On the heels of that conversation, I drove home, and from the time I left
shut up, dude. Shut up.
One of the houses on our street had put a for sale sign up. I was like, what?
I mean, we've been asking for a sign. There it is, for a sale sign.
Okay.
Fast-forwarded version, but really it was every single month
We're like, okay.
About like December through until we ended up meeting with the realtors. Every month kind of checked in, like, is this the month? Is this the month? And just asking each other, how do you feel? What are your thoughts? And then that whole series of events happened, and it just felt like...
You gotta wait till the spring market, though, to sell, because spring market's hot.
It was this burning, like, there'd been this cool or cold, frozen pause, and then that moment happened, and it felt like this fire that melted all of the pause, and it was like, go now.
It's go time.
And so once we felt that, we wanted to act immediately on it, and we did, and I mean, I don't know. You can call it whatever you want. The series of events that followed were something that I don't think any of us could have ever predicted would happen.
Like what? You listed your home and someone bought it? Is that the series of events that happened? Because that's how it all happens. You guys would never predict this. We went to space with Katy Perry first. They didn't show us in the video, but we went. And then, like, you could never predict this. We listed our home. Then someone bought it, right? You would never guess that.
We met with our realtor team. They've been incredible. They talked to us. We talked hard numbers, possibilities, and everything lined up with exactly what we were hoping, wanting, needing, etc. We felt like, boom, this is it. Let's go.
And I hope you took that profit from this home, which is probably in the millions, and you literally bought a home free and clear. I hope that's what you did.
We put our home up. I want to say we listed, or I don't even remember if it was like a fully listed with pictures or anything like that, but it wasn't a full week, because I know it wasn't from a Sunday to a Sunday, because we hadn't been able to tell
we know it was on the Reddit.
people in our neighborhood they were moving before the home had already gone under contract.
Yeah.
So less than a week, the home got an offer. There was no doubt in our mind that the cooling window where it felt like maybe like a frozen on pause is probably maybe wasn't the best time to list for whatever reason, but when we felt that burn to go, we do believe that it was to list now, to just move forward with the selling of the...
Dude, your house was going to sell. It's literally a dream house for rich people. It was going to sell. Your street was selling like hotcakes. Everyone had moved there. It was developed. All the lawns are there. The trees are in. It looked like a big pile of dirt when you started. Now it's all like there. And people who are rich, who can afford shit like that, they're like, okay, I want that one. So it was always going to sell. So relax. It's not God. It's not Joseph Smith out there being like, you know what? I think now is the time we'll sell the Bingham's house.
We believe truthfully that it was so that in that 1 week window we would have the interested parties come through that we did. The home actually got some great attention. It was shown to a lot of people.
Perfect.
We have some hilarious.
But they don't care. They're happy they're leaving. She keeps saying, it's the most perfect house. We're so happy we're leaving though. It's perfect.
Stories about that. Maybe we can share someday, like somebody who had to reschedule because they didn't have a place to land their helicopter.
We don't give a shit, dude.
We just thought, where are we living? But we did have some great people come through, and
We
ultimately
honestly don't deserve this house.
we really
You don't. That's the most honest thing she has said in this video. I actually like this. The more I see her, the more I like her. Okay? She's real. She doesn't get to talk a lot because this douchebag over here he's like the epitome of douche. Do you know what I mean? Like, that guy's a douche. When you say the word, hey man, that guy's a douche, you picture this guy. I like her little insights here. I'm gonna give her credit where credit's due because she's like, we don't deserve this shit. She's honest.
I don't even know how we ended up here in the first place. So it's been an incredible wild ride. We joke that
Here, I'll tell you how you ended up there. You exploited your children to the tune of millions of dollars. That's how you ended up there.
it's been like the most
Happy to help.
amazing 3-year Airbnb we've ever stayed at, and all of our
Time to
vacations.
check out, guys.
Time to check out.
Is that how you're justifying it in your mind so you don't get heartbroken? Okay.
It's time to
It
go.
was a long-term lease, and we've loved it. But no, so ultimately, we were able to sell the home so quickly that it even blew our minds. We thought, boy, we went from not being sure we wanted to make this decision to the home is sold, has an offer
Yeah.
on the table. Many of you probably are wondering when all this happened.
Talk with real.
No, we're not. It was on the Reddit thread the moment you listed it, dumbass. Here, look, I'll show you. Okay, so 2 months ago, look, 2 months ago, they're moving. House was listed for sale today, but I'm banned from this community. I don't even know. I must have said something to piss someone off. But there it is. Not surprised their viewership is way down. There have been subtle comments made that insinuated that they were having financial difficulties. Also, I don't know why they built such an extravagant home when the kids are over half grown. Ryler will be graduating from high school and going off to college in a little over 2 years, and crew only a year behind. Let's see if they address it in their vlogs. So this was up like as soon as you listed it. The day of, it was posted on your hate thread.
They came while we were gone and took photos of the house.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then when
that's
we
a great
came
way to
back,
anchor the timing.
it
So that was spring break.
Can she finish a thought?
Yeah, and then when we came back, it was about 2 weeks after to get the listing completely finalized. And go time, they put the sign in the yard. Immediately started getting flooded with text messages from neighbors and friends. And what is happening? I just saw your house listed on the MLM.
I just read the Reddit forum.
We tried to tell people one-on-one as much as possible, and some of you might be wondering why it wasn't part of the vlogs. Really, it was just such a big thing to be going through in general with so much uncertainty. We didn't know that it was wise to bring in the public and to bring in the world.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah, it's selling your home. Yeah. But you're cool with putting every emergency that's ever happened with your children on the internet. Putting their mouth at the dentist in a thumbnail. Putting your kids topless in thumbnails. Talking about probably period videos, everything. I'm sure they have it all. That stuff's cool to put on, but not listing your home. That's way too personal. Are you listening to yourself? Like, I hope I could put this in perspective for you. Don't be such assholes. You stupid assholes.
we were kind of advised through other people who have done something similar to wait until things are in hand when you're dealing with something that is like a multi-million-dollar transaction. It's just something that you don't want to mess up by accidentally saying something stupid.
That's true, because Kira. Remember Kira had her house listed for like 6 months because she's like, this house is a piece of shit. I can't wait to get out of here. Everything's broken. Oh, man.
Or bringing in the wrong people.
How to protect our.
Oh, okay. So that, and you know what? I'll give them that. They're going to have open houses and shit, and they're going to be fans that are going to come through the house. That's probably what, I'll give them that. But also, that's the road that you chose, so. But I'll give you that.
Ourselves. That's why it hasn't been talked about. Some of you are probably like, this has all been happening and we had no idea.
I mean, you
We all knew.
guys,
And
behind the
we're really
scenes,
sorry, actually.
you may have
They all knew.
noticed most of the vlogs have been happening within like this area because there's packed boxes like in every other
know.
room. So we've been trying not to spoil that, let in
We all knew.
anybody in until everything had been finalized.
Yeah.
So the reality of it is right now we don't own this home. We are staying here as rent backers from the people who bought it. It has been bought. It has been paid for. It is no longer ours. We are sitting in someone else's home right now, which is
Did you sell all your furniture to them and everything else?
wild.
Yeah,
We're actually homeless.
They could clean up a little bit though, if I'm being honest.
Funny joke.
Maybe the maid was out of town for the weekend.
Shoot. Oh yeah,
You're
she
not
was.
the maid.
And you know what? They probably did have maids and everything else too. You know they did.
Hey, that wasn't a good joke because I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. That's not what I meant.
Ew, they don't even like each other.
Yeah, you're not the me. Side hug.
Also, you guys, it's been a rough few weeks. We had to figure out a plan. We actually were given an extra 30 days to be here because we didn't have a plan. We do have
Oh, that sounds smart. To list your home without a plan. Sounds smart.
a plan now. I don't know if that wants to be like part 2 of this whole thing. We have a great plan, but it took a minute. It's been us like praying and fasting and really
Stop praying and fasting!
relying on Heavenly Father to help us because we're
On heavenly.
being very lighthearted. We feel really, really good about it. This is genuine,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean it's been easy. It's been really hard.
Honestly,
She's crying. She's heartbroken about this because they... But you know what? You're the one who flew to friggin' Timbuktu for a pair of shoes. So you're partly to blame here. Let's be real. You guys are both assholes.
said that if we'd shot this video a month ago, it probably would have been a little bit different. And so I think it was most likely for the best, but I do want to, I think you've nailed it. I do want to emphasize that even though we're being lighthearted and everything seems
the cuts, buddy. You just gotta chill on the cuts, man. Stop it.
all good, it's been a very difficult, rocky road. It's been filled with tears, uncertainty, levels of depression, just like not understanding why it worked out the way that
She's got her cry vein in the middle of her forehead. She's got that crazy. So when she's stressed, I don't even know this woman, but when she's stressed, that vein's like. Kids know when to not piss mom off because she's got the Klingon vein. When she cries, Klingon vein. When she eats Taco Bell, Klingon vein. You know it. You know the Klingon vein is a very good descriptor of her mood.
And so make no mistake, it's as crazy and as devastating as many of you are feeling right now because you're having those initial feelings when we first realized we had to do
what
it.
we've been feeling.
We've got the benefit of like a month or so under our belt now where we've gotten used to the idea, had all of our, not goodbyes with neighbors because that's still yet to come, but just everyone's been able to warm up to it. We've walked through all the options and alternatives. How can you possibly stay? I think that's the first one everyone does is like, what if you did this? What if you did this? What if you did that? And we've been through all of it.
Can't. Dude, imagine making 20 grand a month and not being able to afford a house.
Through all
Holy shit, they've wasted a lot of money.
No, honestly, no joke, probably 8 months worth of regular check-ins and trying to figure out what exactly we need to do. And so it might seem abrupt, it might seem out of nowhere, but it's been a long, in many ways, difficult process. But again, not to harken back on to other tragedies in the family, but having my dad pass, having my brother pass, as trials and difficulties go, trying to figure out where we can take our family and move to seemed like it wasn't nearly in the realm of those things.
Yes, our life is being uprooted, but we've had to do like reality checks. No, this is not ideal.
Yeah.
No, this is something we don't want to do, but try to remain grateful amid something that's been really challenging. Jared and Brittany have been going through a massive trial trying to have a family.
Trying to bring a kid into the world that they can raise and love, something that's such a
They can exploit on the internet? I hope damn well not. I hope not.
pure righteous desire. And
Because I'll snark on them assholes if they do that.
I've not seen success in those efforts, and it's all very publicly documented. Jared and Britt do their whole journey on YouTube. and
Oh, okay. There we go, of course.
you've got that.
That's all they know!
You've got my sweet sister-in-law, brother's passing.
Unimaginable.
It just seems like boo-hoo. You've got to move. The scope of things, it really didn't feel like as big of a trial that maybe it would have if it was the only trial going on in the Bingham family, but it seems like no one is left unaffected.
I think no matter how big or small, everyone's going through something. Even if you follow people on social media and they seem happy as can be, there have been times I've actually been grateful for this trial because usually when you go through hard things is when it stretches you and you can bond together.
I was going to say, we have found that we get closer.
She never gets to finish the thought, ever in a million. Like, I could never be this person. I could never in a million years. How she doesn't show any emotion when he cuts her off every time is actually crazy. My wife would cut me with a box cutter if I did that. And I do sometimes in my ADHD brain, I have to get a thought out or I'll forget it. And so sometimes I do that. I mean, I'm very aware of it though. This guy doesn't seem aware of it at all. And her face is like, vein. Klingon vein.
During the trials more than
Really
anything.
hard things.
When things are easy and smooth, sometimes you just
Like,
take
yeah,
for
you're
granted.
good.
It's just like, yeah.
She's like, hate.
When it gets rough, I mean, I think about times that we've been in between jobs. Financially strapped seems to be like our main life trial throughout our marriage. But
You should never have been financially strapped when you guys were pulling in hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. Okay, there should be never have ever been, you were never financially strapped until a year and a half ago. That's what they said. But we've always been financially strapped. Maybe don't fly to a foreign country for a pair of shoes then? May I suggest that?
Then there was other types, and I just feel like they've always caused us to grow together closer as a family. So we're grateful for them.
It also encourages you to draw closer to God. So anyway.
It does it?
We feel good about it. Bring you along for the whole process. Now that like we're all in this together.
The timing just lined up perfectly, but the reason we felt like we wanted to have it come out the way that it did, when it did, is because it is now like full-blown packing and moving. Like I said, we do not own this home. We're no longer residents of this address.
Spring cleaning.
The spring cleaning. Clear back.
Oh no! What will we do without your Klingon vein?
When we did the garage clean out, we were spring cleaning. I had the intention of eventually posting a video that said we lied about spring cleaning because that was actually getting the home decluttered and cleaned up for showing and pictures. It is a spring cleaning, but it was just a full-on cleaning out of the house. And
can she say a word, please?
And moving. Now, moving forward, we're gonna be able to join in real.
I'm gonna write him a song. I wish you'd shut your bitch ass up. Brandon, shut your big mouth, dude. Mindy's trying to have a couple words in edgewise, and you won't shut your bitch ass up. So shut your bitch ass up. Brandon, shut your bitch ass up. Too many cuts. Shut your bitch ass up. Shut up, man. If you ever see SYBAU on the internet, that's what it means. It means shut your bitch ass up.
Time packing, the moving. We have some nuances with the move that I don't think we've addressed, where we are going to be actually homeless for like a 3-week to a month period of time.
Yeah, I'm sure you rich ass douchebags are going to be homeless and not living in probably an Airbnb for 3 months. So don't say that when there are actually people going homeless during this time who have no money, who can't pay for groceries. Don't say stupid stuff like this, because you will not be homeless. So shut up.
We're homeless now, but we will actually not have a roof over our head.
We actually don't have a...
What are you going to do? Live under the stars in Utah? What are you going to do?
We have to get all of our furniture out of here, and we have to be out of here, but then we cannot move into the home that we're going to move into for almost a month. So join us in figuring that whole thing out, because that's been one that...
Sounds like you made shitty choices.
We're not sure how we're going to do, but here we are now.
Like your entire channel.
Joining you guys real time. For me, I know, and as we've been talking about some of the family trials that the extended family has been through, the moment that we're finally able to sit down and talk to the camera and address you guys has always been unusually therapeutic for me. Unexpectedly, I guess I should say. Sometimes, like, my dad was kind of the first big thing that
Battery dead.
Never reached the time limit for recording.
That's because you're using a DSLR. Amateurs.
You guys don't know what just happened there? I just had the camera say you've reached the maximum time limit.
And so this video is 20 minutes long up to this point, and so there's a 30-minute time limit, so there is 10 minutes of cuts in this thing.
A lot, buddy.
So, we knew there was a time limit.
You guys have asked for longer vlogs. Here you go.
30-minute clip.
Nobody wants this.
Okay, so what was I saying? So I gotta say the whole thing again, right? Something that for me was unexpectedly therapeutic. It started back when my dad passed away unexpectedly. I had to sit down, and because we share our lives, and that includes everything, we had to sit down and address the camera and tell you guys and explain it and kind of...
You didn't have to do anything. No, you didn't. You didn't have to explain it.
Walk through and talk about it. That was comforting to me in a way that I didn't expect. It was actually almost like everything just kind of felt like chaotic and like a tornado of emotions until we sat down and I could just like get it out and something.
Imagine that you have to talk to parasocial relationship fans in order to like get your shit out when you have a family here, and you said family's everything. Oh yeah. I believe you.
About it. Same thing happened with my brother. It was just still such a crazy difficult thing, but once I could finally like almost come clean on it and share it with you guys and sit down and talk about it was such a healing process for me. And it's kind of in the same way with this. It's like we've had so many things on pause mentally.
Oh my gosh. Like, can we just say it already?
Can we just get it out there? Like I said,
we all knew. So don't worry about it.
Trying to protect the transaction, trying to protect what we were hoping to do in moving and setting ourselves up for a better future. I think it's all come down to now is the time to bring you guys in.
And apparently another YouTube family might have bought this house.
On this, and it feels good. Once again, incredibly therapeutic to sit down, get it out there, bring you guys in on it, because the next little bit is going to be pretty fun, pretty exciting. We are actually
no, it's not.
Anxious to share that whole journey with you guys.
We have a lot coming up. We'll do part 2 where we bring you up to speed on maybe the next chapter.
Because I do feel like there's another, it's like as we were moving.
She got 5 words in.
Now, but there's going to be like a more emotional look back, a goodbye, a little montage of the clips of moving in and the energy around that and moving out. Just pictured that in my mind a bunch ever since making this decision how to best.
That's Imagine making this life-altering decision. You're like, all I've been thinking about is how I'm going to make a montage out of this.
Document and share that with you guys. But I feel like for this one, it was like getting the news out.
Have you not learned anything yet?
There, letting you guys in on what's going on so that when you see us with packing boxes everywhere, every video is about trying to figure out where to live, what to pack and what not to pack. You guys will know what's going on. Then I think maybe we will take time throughout these coming weeks to reflect on the emotion of it all.
I think at the end of the day, it is us swallowing a bit of pride to be able to come to this decision, do something really hard. I think sometimes when things
Well, you're so humble.
don't go as planned, you just gotta pick yourself up and keep moving forward, and that's what we've tried to do. And sometimes you have to do the hard thing. This is us doing the hard thing.
If there's anything that
Shut up. You're going to move to probably a really, really nice house that most people can never afford. So shut up. Shut up, you guys. You're not actually going to be hurting. You're going to probably live in a beautiful home somewhere else with your vehicles and all the shit that you own. We got to do the hard thing. Shut up, man. I'm serious. In this economy, shut the f- up.
we can share with you guys that maybe you can take away, sometimes with us having like the platform or the microphone to share things.
They're so out of touch with reality that they're like, you guys, do you feel sorry for us that we can't live in our mansion anymore and we have to live in a smaller mansion? You should feel sorry for us. Okay? Do you feel sorry for us?
Than just within your immediate circles of friendship.
Come on.
It's okay to not have your life be a trajectory that only goes up. If your life goes like this, and then like this, and then like this, and then like this, and then like this.
We love roller coasters.
Yeah, we're huge roller coasters.
Yeah, it sounds like it there, forehead vein. It
And
sounds
you guys
like
know,
it.
On the
this is
roller
the
coaster.
downhill. This is that inverted dive on the cannibal.
On the cannibal.
Encourage you out there in a world that's very competitive. It's very like keeping up with the Joneses and look at me and sharing only the highlights and the best parts and trying to compete with that with other people. It's okay to go backwards a little bit and then pick yourself up and try again, or
Shut up.
to fail, as we're calling it.
Only because you failed? Is that why it's okay now? It's okay. Okay, everybody, just so you know, it's okay to fail sometimes because this is how we Bingham have done it. So now that they failed a little bit, you can do it too. Hear yourself. Hear yourself.
People have reminded us many times it is far from a failure. You still get to be together as a family, still get to make a living online, just basically spending time together, sharing your life's journey. You're gonna land in a pretty good spot. Financially, we've been set up in a way with the sale of the home that we're in a really good situation that way as well. So we've been reminded by many, many people in our lives, it's far from a failure, but it is
Imagine walking away from this failure with millions of dollars in bank account.
a backward slide, setback, whatever you want to call that. And as we figure out what is next in this journey of life, not just YouTube,
Well, your channel's dead. It's not going to grow back, so that's not going to be what happens.
because, you know, what is life after YouTube? What is life if YouTube continues to go on its downward trend that it's been on and ceases to be a way to make a living for the family? We want to make sure that we are set up with what matters the absolute most, and that is the people inside of these walls, inside of this home, relationships with each other, giving our kids the best life that they could ever hope for. And that doesn't always mean swimming pool, theater.
Right?
I don't know.
Nobody even uses theaters. Do they use theaters anymore? Again, they bought this home to be a flex to their friends and family and their kids' friends, and that's what it was. That was the whole thing it was. But like, I'm starting to learn too as I get older that those cool things that you really have, like those really cool things, nobody really uses that shit. Okay, this house came with a hot tub. I'm not trying to flex. I'm really not. It's not that big of a deal. Hot tubs are not that expensive. And I can count on one hand how many times I've used that thing. I'm not joking. Nobody uses it. Like, you think it's cool to have it, and your friends do come over once in a blue moon, but it's like, I'm starting to realize the things I really want in life, and that's experiences with my family. That's the most important thing. I have no problem spending a lot of money on. And I have friends who are like that. One of my best buddies, Phil the Giant Frenchman, we go on vacations with his family all the time because they can afford the same lifestyle we can afford. And so it's really nice that we can do that, right? But like, that's the thing that I will never regret spending money on, is making memories with my family and doing things together. Okay, having shit is fun, I'll give you that, but doing things together, way more important. That's why I don't feel like it's really a bad investment to put your kids on travel teams and things like that, and those experiences. Even though they may not go into play at a very, very high level, those experiences are really important.
Maybe we should rethink this. Do you think that they would give it back to us?
We can't afford it though, bro, so...
You guys, we love you. We're so grateful to find that. I can't even tell you the way I feel, even just in this moment, because everything else is crazy. We'll show you all
the rest of the chaos. Come back tomorrow.
We love you guys. We'll see you later.
Shut up. So basically, if you go to their videos, and then today's video that they dropped, Pack Up With Us. So that one was uploaded yesterday, has 150,000 views. They uploaded this one this morning, and it only has 7,000 views because no one gives a shit anymore. Right back to, who cares? Living the dream. This is how we lose them. Get it? They lost everything because they spend all their money on bullshit. So there won't be any more videos coming out about buying $15,000 worth of shoes for the volleyball team. That's for sure. Anyway, guys, like, let this be a lesson to you. What you actually see from family vloggers is always bullshit. It is always lies, and they haven't told you that they've been really broke until now. And they've been broke for well over close to 2 years. So when they show you things, when family vloggers show you things, stop comparing yourself, because likely the reality is that they're broke, or their marriage is broken, their families are broken, they're selfish, they're gross, they have no friends. That's just basically, these guys don't have any friends. She's got a weird vein in her forehead. Anyway, everybody take a deep breath. I know these videos shouldn't make you feel better about yourself, but they do. And you know why? It's because they're finally showing you the reality of it. And it's good that we see these, because you do need to see the reality of how these people actually live. Because so many times we are comparing ourselves to these types of people and be like, I really want that. I want that so badly. And it's like you watch it because you want it. You'll never achieve it. Okay? And you shouldn't have to keep comparing yourself to something that you won't be able to achieve. Okay? It's fake and it's a lie and it's bad for your mental. It's bad for your mental health. So stop watching this shit. Also, they exploit children, so stop watching it for that. So you guys are amazing, incredible, and valuable. Thank you for being here. I do appreciate you. Someone has a huge crush on you, and I will see you when I see you.